Ah, Hi guys, so we're gonna spend probably 1 hour together trying to go deep into Steve Bannon, who is a public figure, uh, about one of his recent interview uh, with a online magazine in England. So, and then disclaimer, so I do not have any right on this song. So this is a song that speaks about a lot of stuff, and it's really appropriate for this live. That's why I'm gonna play part of it. Si tu me laisses la tête, moi je te laisse l'Afghanistan. Si tu me laisses l'Afghanistan, moi je te laisse le Pakistan. Si tu ne quittes pas Haïti, moi je t'embarquerai pour Paris. Si tu m'aides à bombarder l'Irak, moi je t'embarquerai sur le Kurdistan. Ils ont partagé le monde. Rien n'est méthode. Rien n'est méthode. Ils ont partagé le monde. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Rien n'est méthode. Rien n'est méthode. Si tu me laisses l'uranium, moi je te laisse l'aluminium. Si tu me laisses le gisement, moi je t'aide à chasser les talibans. Si tu me donnes beaucoup de blé, moi je fais la guerre à tes côtés. Si tu me laisses le faire ton nom, moi je t'aide à mettre le gisement. Ils sont partagés. Ils sont partagés. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Ils sont partagés l'Africa. Ça nous possédait. Mais nous soyons désolés. Une partie de l'Afrique mandate. C'est tout mal chez les Wallabes. Une partie de l'Afrique aussi. C'est tout mal dans leur cas. Une partie de l'Afrique aussi. C'est tout mal dans l'Afrique mandate. Une partie de l'Afrique mandate. C'est tout mal chez les aussi. Ils ont partagé le monde. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Well, this song is very appropriate for this live and also for the geopolitical situation that's going on around the world, especially for the situation in Ukraine. As we all know, Marco Rubio representing the United States and Sergei Lavrov representing Russia, they are in South Arabia, so talking about Ukraine without inviting Ukraine. So this is a big a deal to show you, or they just divided the world without letting people know. And this very famous singer with almost 1,000 people around him singing, they divided the world without letting the people know. So they just take some part of the world and then they said, "This is my part, this is mine," and then they just divided the world. So that's exactly what is happening right now in Ukraine. So they're trying to divide Ukraine. They're trying to steal rare earth. They're trying to make peace for Ukraine without Ukraine. So that's exactly what they do. And this is what this song is saying. So it's not in English. The song is not in English, but if you can translate or if you can understand French, you will feel why this song is so appropriate for the moment, for the situation, especially what is going on with Ukraine. Effectively, the situation is very, very bad in Ukraine. 2 years, like 3 years of fighting. There is a lot of analysis uh, why Putin invaded Ukraine. The sign or the warning was right there, and then so some Democrat or the European, they did not listen. But just like geopolitical game, power struggle between the great nation power around the world, it's the same thing around the world, the same stuff. But after World War II, we took kind of a break for 70 years. But we are on the break where the world, it's not going to be about peace, it's not going to be about laws. The United Nations is in big trouble. All the organizations that are working for peace and negotiation between states, now they are very in trouble. The world order, like Europe, NATO, and the United States, Russia, and China, everything is changing with this guy into the White House. He doesn't care about humanity values, human dignity. He just want to make a quick deal and move on to the next business. Unfortunately, the world of politics is not it's not a business oriented. That means people gonna remember, people gonna have bad feeling, a lot of things it's happening. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time talking about this, and also we're gonna deep dive. We're gonna dive very deep with this interview about Bennett. So we're gonna finish hearing the song, and then we're gonna go over Mr. Bannon, what he said, and I'm gonna give you my analysis on the subject. Yes, they divided the world. Nothing gonna shock him. He said, "I'm not gonna be shocked if they take over Gaza." The guys said, "We're gonna own Gaza. We're gonna take Gaza." You see, it's people that taking over other people's land, just like into the minage, just like back into to the 17th centuries, 16th centuries, where kings were taking over other people's land, just like Russia wanna do it, just like Russia wanna do it with Ukraine, just like China wanna do it with Taiwan, and then it is going. Came back, and then the first thing you wanna do since he saw those guys just take over power, dismantle all the institutions, and then they keep power for themselves, and then they go take over all the people's land, and then he said they're gonna do this. So we're gonna see, or is that gonna play? Will the American people accept something like that? Because if he go along with a China, Russia, Putin, and Xi Jinping, then you're gonna have the end of America. You're gonna have something very much different from the America we all know and cherish. But there are bigger situations that we're gonna talk about. Well, the world order after World War II was a war, and I mean it was a war where people said, so we're killing each other for like a, 2 world wars around the world. People all over the world, the war affected life, too many killing. They said, so we're gonna try to resolve our situation with laws, with diplomacy, with I'm not gonna use the word common sense, but with diplomacy, with negotiation and laws around the world. Now we're talking about geopolitical laws that govern nations. So this is why you have like peace for 7 years between the great powers like Russia, China, the United States, countries around Europe, all over the place. But that does not mean we spent 70 years with no war. We had a war between the US and Vietnam, where it was between Iraq and the US, Iraq and Kuwait, different kind of war, but not the world war. That means the whole world was not at war. That's the big difference. So, and then the United States took over, they were the master of the world, but they made a big mistake after World War II, and they with Hitler and other stuff, they stopped there, but they forgot that Stalin and Hitler were good buddies until Hitler decided to attack Stalin, and then Stalin came around and said, guys, please help me, especially the United States, and then they helped them, and then they forgot about it. Then Russia had a lot of powers. This is why you get Stalin, Churchill, and the other president from the United States. Oh my God, just wait. But this is what those 3 guys, Churchill, Stalin, and he was at 3 terms, and then he died in power, and then stuff like that. So we're gonna come back with his name later. And after that, we had the Cold War. The Cold War, so that means there's two great powers. The world was divided between the West and the East, and then you had the wall of Berlin. The communists, they went kind of quiet, but one country again, and did not bow down, and then they tried to rebuild themselves. And then Russia rebuilt themselves. They had like a lot of a period of turbulence inside of Russia, but they find guy Putin that take over the country, and then they keep going with the same mindset, take over the world, just like Hitler wanted to do it, just like Stalin wanted to do it, and not the same way the American want to do it. The American want to do it quietly with diplomacy. That's what they did for the last 7 years. hears. So when he hears there was one guy, they want they want the world that make orders. And then a lot of mistake has been made. The Democrat, Republican, they took over. They try to do a lot of things around the world, but they kind of forgot about uh, what Russia really wanted. And by the way, they helped China build their economy. Well, fast enough, now we're in 2025. This is the situation. The situation is very difficult. Now, the US realized that they messed up. They did not divide Russia, so Russia came back as more powerful than after the World War II. It just like Stalin got back in power. And you have China. China is almost taking over the economy of the world, the number one country in the world. So those two countries, they don't believe in democracy, they don't believe in the rule of laws. Then now they want to control the world. And they said no, they're taking over. There is like a connection, a big friendship between Russia and China. First of all, there is no spy. The US does not control Russia. Russia does not control China. There is no spy. They don't know what is going on. And then all those trolls, all those spies from Russia and China are taking over the rest of the world. That's the situation. Now, the US is in is doing a defensive game. They are not attacking the world because all those spies, all those countries they used to control, they do not control them anymore. They used to control them with spies. They used to control them with a lot of institutions. They do not at this time. And then a lot of countries they find out, so we have two options. We can go to the US, or we can go to China or Russia. And with Ukraine, so they say so we're gonna sanction Russia. And then Russia, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. They survived the sanction. There was a lot of sanction on Russia, and they survived it thanks to China, thanks to India, thanks to a lot of countries in Africa. We avoid World War III, but we are going to something even worse than World War III. We're supposed to have when Russia attacked or invaded Ukraine, and then now there's a big problem in the US. They are in a lot of debt. They own China a lot of money, and the problem is now somebody wants to be on the live, so they're trying to get attention, just like some people in politics. So they just making a lot of noise so people can know they are. Anyway, so this is the situation. Now, after the COVID, world shut down, the economy stopped. There is no commerce. There is no immigration. The world stopped. After 3 years, we came out. We came from the COVID, and then we have an inflation, and then Ukraine got invaded by Russia. So all those events, first of all, Russia is rebuilding itself. China is becoming a super world power. So instead, you have only the US doing everything around the world, and then so they got themselves into trouble with two enemies. They do not have only Russia, now they have Russia and China. So who's to blame? Again, it's themselves, because they had control of everything. China and Russia are very big countries with a lot of with a big population, and then the US were just like, I'm enjoying, I'm the number one, I'm the guy in the black, I'm running the town, and then they forgot a lot of stuff. First of all, Russia is getting very military big with a lot of big nuclear weapons, hypersonic weapons, a lot of dangerous stuff. They know that, but they took that very late. Now they can challenge the U.S. military. China can do the same thing militarily, not quite, but their economy is very big. So now this is a very big problem. And then the US is in debt. Or to put or to change that, there is two ways. Make alliance with other countries. So this is what I propose, and enlarge your economy, because China is on track to take over the number one economic country in the world. Enlarge your economy, and then there is no, and then you can still compete militarily with those countries. No, they say no, they're not gonna do that. All those guys, I'm not gonna put name on them for the purpose of this live, but they do not like black people. They do not like African. They do not like Arabian. They do not like Latinos. Well, this is all the country was built with a lot of guys with different kind of mentalities. They want to be themselves. The US is such dire trouble. Now they are on the defense. They are on the defense. We are going to listen to Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, it's just like an evil carnivore, or I can put it just like a Albert Einstein. He's a very smart guy, but it's not. He doesn't have any humanity. And his approach and the way he's saying things is just like I select the US. You cannot win any war with just like being on the defense. The best defense is attack. The best defense is attack. If you're not attacking, or if you do not stand your ground, you're gonna get beat up. Even though China and Russia is taking out all their spy, all those CIA, all those intel agencies, but they still have to stand their ground with the people, talk with the people. Even though they do not, those who like government, but you should not be in the business of replacing others, countries, government. It's not gonna work. It might work on the short term, but in the long term, you're gonna pay for it. The Democrats said so. Let's welcome everybody. After like more than 1 million Americans died with COVID, and then the economy is not that great. They said so, and a lot of people are coming to the country. With a lot of people coming to the country, some people in America, especially Steve Bannon, or all those MAGA people, they think they are being attacked. It's just like an attack on. This is where for me it's getting personal. All those immigrants, for those white folks, they think all the immigrants coming here to attack the country. They see us as the enemy. And then you now hear Steve Bannon say, this is a war. It's a war between Democrat and Republican and the immigrants, people from other countries, from Haiti, especially you hear what J.D. Vance said about Haitian people. They see us as the enemy of the US. That's very troubling. They see black people like Spanish people. That's why they said we're gonna mass deport those people, because they are attacking their country, their institution, and that's not fair. Because there's a lot of kids. The kids don't know nothing about those racist guys are talking, and they might be victim any day or any time. Now they're playing with people's life, with innocent life. Now, Steve Bannon is talking to guys So I need to give credit to those guys, GB News in England. So it's trying to give his point of view, and you're gonna listen for from the interview, and then I'm gonna go over some notes that I took from the when I listened to the interview. So let's listen to Steve Bannon. The Republican used to be so from the beginning they were on the side of black people. Stuff happened. They said so no more black people. They went rogue. They went like KKK. They said no more immigrant no more. Okay, so they played the long game, and then the Democrat like welcoming other people, black people, and then you have like Obama as the first president. So now you have MAGA. Those MAGA people, they're not even Republican. Who they are, just like the Tea Party, they even worse than the Tea Party. They do not like immigrant. They see immigrant as enemies. You cannot have people from Latin America, people from Canada. Canada, they have a big problem with Canada because of democracy, because of immigration, and then they just want to take over Canada. This is unbelievable. That's a big no. Okay, Russia want to take Ukraine, which is like a smaller country with a small army. China want to take over Taiwan, which is a small country with a small army. But now they want to take like Canada, which is even a bigger country than the US. This is not good. And then Greenland, and then like the Canal of Panama, they are scared of China. I really don't know exactly because they got a lot of intel on China, but they acting very like someone who is very scared. In my language in Creole, on a dit son chien, yo fait paix. On leur font chien paix. On a tout ça chien ouais il belle. Chien ouais, de mon a passé chien paix. There have been a big psychological depression about China. I don't know exactly. So what do they have as information? This is why they dismantling all those institutions. But the problem is why the Department of Education. Why? Why you are going after people that investigated you? This is very troubling. What they're doing inside of the US, but what Bannon said. Bannon is like the Albert Einstein of the MAGA movement. It's the brain. If you can understand what the brain is saying, all those people onto the street, all those guys, all those Proud Boys, all those KKK, all those Nazi, they're gonna listen to Bannon because Bannon is the evil carnivore, is the evil guy, is the evil genius. Is the brain is the guy that thinking a lot of these things, and we're gonna move it. But the strategy, I'm gonna talk more about the strategy, or the reacting and the strategy. It's not gonna work for long. This mentoring on those institutions, no, you wanna make cuts. Well, my proposition is higher people's everybody's tax instead of imposing a tariff 25% tariff on every country. I'm not even gonna say what they're supposed to do because a lot of people gonna be mad at me, and it's gonna be cut people's packet. It's gonna be I'm not even gonna tell what they're supposed to do instead of attacking other people, other country, because those countries they're not enemies, they allies. Those they just allies of the country. So I really don't understand. But let's listen to a good friend, Steve Bannon.
It's assassinations. So I said, if you're not prepared, they will send you to prison, or in Trump's case, in that border, it's assassination. So I said, if you're not prepared to go to prison, if you're not prepared to sacrifice your life you're in the wrong line of work. This is all out political warfare between two sides of the United States that can't stand each other. Each side thinks they think we're barbarians. We think they've destroyed the country. We think they're dangerous. They think that we're beyond dangerous. Donald Trump's such a big self. They will send you to prison, or in Trump's case, and I've warned about this, assassinations. So I said, if you're not prepared to go to prison, if you're not prepared to sacrifice your life, you're in the wrong line of work. This is all out political warfare between.
Okay, he said all out political warfare. So there's side, two side of the situation, and then it's all out political warfare. That's mean this is a war between two parties, and then that's why the title of this live is war or political struggle, war inside of the U.S. government. This is very dangerous situation. This is a very dangerous situation for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. You cannot have a country where the two major parties think they are at war with each other.
They will send you to prison, or in Trump's case, and I've warned about this, assassination. So I said, if you're not prepared to go to prison, if you're not prepared to sacrifice your life, you're in the wrong line of work. This is all out political warfare between two sides of the United States that can't stand each other. Each side thinks they think we're barbarians. We think they've destroyed the country. We
Okay, now my advice or my analysis or my message to the two sides, they need to realize they need to take a break, because I see what political warfare can do to a country, just like Haiti. If they want their country to be like Haiti, just a lot of them hate Haiti. So if you don't want your country to become like Haiti, you need to stop that. You need to see the one, just like the founding fathers did. Close the womb. I don't know, the Congress. Sit down with all of your people, and then you need to see what's going on in Haiti. This is political warfare. I really don't understand why even a former president or any American don't go around, sit with those two sides and prevent this war, because they're gonna destroy the country and the rest of the world with it. This is very important. This is like a dire warning to the US. They cannot go around with this kind of rhetoric. This guy Steve Bannon, he came back from prison. All right, for any kind of reason. I remember we this election between Bush and Gore. The country was even divided with that situation, and then they find a solution. Gore went away. He said so. He loved his country. They find they did find a solution. I hope they're gonna find a solution with this problem sooner than later, because it used to be like a undeclared war, but now it's a declared war with what Steve Bannon said. They are out for revenge. This interview it's 1 hour 25 minutes 11 seconds. You can go and find it, and the title is "A Lot of You Are Going to Prison." Steve Bannon, revenge, and Trump. So they are to put people into prison. They're gonna go after Liz Cheney. They're gonna go after the Clintons. They're gonna go after Biden. You cannot have a country that is running on political warfare. Something gonna break. And since I'm into the middle of it, I have my wife, my kids, my family, my niece, my nephews. You cannot go around and then messed up. You messed up, and then you're gonna mess a lot of people's life. That's not a good situation. Now you're finding yourself being responsible for other people's life. You used to go around and do stuff. You need to restrain yourself for not mess up your country and the world. Listen very carefully about what I said.
Think they're dangerous. They think there would be. They will send you to prison, or in Trump's case, and I've warned about this, assassination. So I said, if you're not prepared to go to prison, if you're not prepared to sacrifice your life, you're in the wrong line of work. This is all out political warfare between two sides of the United States that can't stand each other. Each side thinks they think we're barbarians. We think they've destroyed the country. We think they're dangerous.
One of the reasons they said they destroyed the country is because of the immigrants. And I am an immigrant, and there is a lot of illegal or legal immigrant. But this guy, those people, you need to be clear about that. They do not want immigrants, especially poor immigrants, especially immigrants from certain countries, especially country like Haiti, because they see us as the enemy. Those you are Democrat, they got a lot of guns. The Republican got guns, the Democrat got guns. If they start shooting at each other, with the immigrants gonna be into the middle of those two crazy people, two crazy group that are doing their bidding. And this is a stupid thing to do. They can go inside of room, like the room, beat up each other, and then if one of them come out victorious and then said stop, but do not involve those innocent people that just came around to find a better life. The problem with those MAGA people, they do not understand, and this is basically racism, and they lost their humanity. They're talking a lot about Jesus. Just this. First of all, Jesus was an immigrant. Jesus was born in a city where his parents were not living. They had to travel with Jesus. Jesus was an immigrant. And Jesus was a militant. That means he's a guy we were talking true to power. He went to the temple. He's talking to those elders, like he was talking to them. And then he was talking to the guy in power. He said, so give what for Caesar to Caesar and give what for God to God. Jesus always speak the truth. And I'm speaking the truth right now. You are destroying your country, but the problem is a lot of innocent people are gonna be caught between your stupidity, because it's basically stupid. If you have a problem with someone, sit down and then resolve that. Do not get other people involved into your BS. And then we basically do not make policy in this country. We do not make any policy. What kind of policy does immigrant are making? None. We don't make any policy. So sit down and then make your policy and then give us a little bit of peace. Do not blame the victim. Why a lot of immigrants come to America? Because the country are broken. We broke their country. After World War II, which country made the world order? It was you. You invade Jamaica, the DR, you invade Haiti, you invade Vietnam, you invade Iraq. You did all you wanted to do. If the world is in this mess, you can blame China, you can blame Russia, but don't blame the Caribbean people. Don't blame people from Latin America. You invade them. You invade big countries in Latin America like day and night. You kill their president. You making coups. You build their army. You broke their army. You were the guy who making laws, and you were the guy who making whatever you wanted around the world for 70 years. If things are changing, don't blame the guy the people who got nothing to do with it. The guy who has something to do with it is China and Russia. And then who went to China? Nixon went to China, kissing people, laughing, and then he opened the country, and then they took all the economic um technology, and then all the economic group went, they took everything they want because you went down and then you give it to them. You cannot even blame them because it's Nixon that went down here. And then what happened to Russia? Bush went down to with Putin when Putin just got started. He said, "I look into the guy eyes. I can see soul. He is a good guy." And then you let him with a lot of weapons, with a lot of scientists that make a lot of technologies, and then what happened? We were not there. So if thing goes wrong, the only people to blame it's yourself. That's why I'm telling you, sit down, resolve your shit, and then come up with policy, but don't blame innocent people for it.
They think that we're beyond dangerous.
In Donald Trump's first 2 weeks in office, he began a program of mass deportations, fired top FBI officials, ended DEI across the government, cut billions of dollars in wasteful spending, laid off tens of thousands of government workers, and ended temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens. My name is Stephen Edgington, and joining me to discuss the
All right, thanks to Stephen Eddington, wherever he is. We have to give credit to the guy.
first few weeks of the second Trump administration is Stephen K. Bannon. Are we witnessing a campaign of revenge?
A campaign of revenge for the president? I think anything but. Remember, his revenge is going to be the new golden age. I think what you're seeing is a very focused deconstruction administrative state take down the deep state.
That's mean the guy is on the revenge side. He's taking revenge. Is just like a mad dog who's biting legs, who's biting ass, who's biting face, who's it just like go around and he's not going to govern. This is not what he's doing. He's not the president. He's not doing any kind of work as a president. He just come there and then like a mad dog, like a crazy dog, he just like taking shit. He broke the ceiling. He took the fridge door. It's take the table. He throw every shit. This is not how you're gonna make America great again. He could do it quietly. He could just go around and then quietly he's gonna do his thing very quietly. But he's not that kind of guy. You need to make noise. You need to say it like this is me. I'm gonna do this. That's the problem. And then when you're doing that, so the country is not gonna become stronger. The country gonna become weaker, and then other people gonna take more advantage of the country. And then if anything goes wrong, you're gonna blame other people for it. This is the crazy thing with this situation. If things go south, you're gonna blame other people for it. So you do not have a president. You have like a revanchard. I don't know how to say it in English. Someone who's just coming around. He does not care about the people. He's not making any policy. No, he just like someone is like a punisher. Someone coming around to punish people, to do damage to the country, and and how far he will go after he's done. So what gonna left with the country? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So the mass deportation, now they say it's only the illegal immigrants. And they see those guys, and more things are coming because they see the guys as enemies. I wish this time will never come when they're gonna see courts black all the moves. They're gonna see they can do nothing because Congress need to pass certain laws and fund some activities, and then they're gonna tell the people, the citizen, they're gonna say the people to do their dirty job. I don't I don't wish this day will ever come when you're gonna say, okay, people, I cannot do whatever I want, so you have to do it. So if you have your means, just like Trayvon Martin. Do you remember how Trayvon Martin got killed? Because the guy who said, oh, so I'm gonna stay my ground, I'm gonna neighborhood watch, and then he took his gun and then he killed the kids. So probably we might come to this point, those guys gonna have to do the beating by themselves. Probably I wish we will never come to this point. But this guy, Steve Bannon, this is what he's saying. He said a lot of coming. They're gonna do the revenge. They went to prison. They went to hell. They're gonna they're gonna make hell for those people. And who's gonna pay for all of that? The American people, the innocent people, like from Haiti, from Iran. The That's the point, that the situation with that. Okay, so a little review of what he said. He said a lot of people are going to prison. The invasion of the country, the invasion of the country, aka the Biden program. That's mean all the innocent people that are running from Haiti, they see them as invaders. They see them as people that come to invade their country. That's what they're saying about those innocent people from Haiti. People who are running from gangs, where those people find those guns. So this question need to be addressed, where these people got those guns. And we all know where the military complex are, which country are making or are producing all those guns. The country will be in turmoil. They will go after everyone, like the people that investigate January 6th. They started already the humanitarian program. General McMillan, he said that about the General McMillan. He said they should call the general back to the army, and then they have to try him into a military camp. And then he said something very important: releasing secret documents, like the JFK assassination, MLK assassination. He said they need to release all those secret documents, all the secret of the government. Why? Why they wanna do that? Nobody know. And do they know what's gonna happen after they release those information? Nobody knows. So that means they don't care about the safety of the country. They're just gonna come and do bad stuff. And I think the Democrats should emphasize on that. They're not here to go govern, they're here to make revenge. And while they're doing that, they don't care about the outcome of that. And then they say massive declassification. They're gonna declassify any kind of stuff that happened in Iraq, stuff that happened under the CIA watch, what the CIA did, what the FBI. They're gonna go massive declassification. They ask for massive transparency. Those guys want massive transparency. This is crazy. And then he said the president got 3 words: chief executive officer of the US government, commander in chief of the military, chief officer of the government. So the second point is very important: chief commander of the military. Remember last time he called the military on the protesters into the street? This is when the situation gonna be very difficult to deal with, when they call the military, because they're gonna call the military sooner or later. It's the military that saved the country. Mike Pence helped But the military said no, they're not gonna kill people, they're not gonna invade nobody. That really help the country. And then this he call about something unified theory. The unified theory, are we gonna have to come back with that? And then they said confrontation. Let's go to a part when it say talking about confrontation. Let's see, you talk about the confrontation between okay, 24, 24, 24, 24. It's talking about that. Oh, 24. Okay, wait, give me a second, give me a second. Give me a second.
That's what you're going to bring. You're bringing a knife to a gunfight, okay? Because this is a confrontation. This is what I'm saying. Days with Thunder. President Trump is for this whole vertical is hitting them every day with 10, 15, 20 executive actions and executive orders. I feel we had the best handle on it. And I tell guys, there's a dozen things we can't even cover today because we got to focus on the three or four most major ones. So op-eds in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are not going to hack it.
That's mean he said so what the Democrat is doing now, talking on to the press, go on the radio news. He said so those things are not gonna help them because they are prepared to do a lot of damage. They are preparing for confrontation into this. So that means this thing is gonna be very ugly.
If that's what you're going to bring, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight, okay? Because this is a confrontation. This is what I'm saying. Days with Thunder. Trump is over this whole vertical is hitting them every day with 10, 15, 20 executive actions and executive orders. I feel we have the best handle on it. And I tell guys, there's a dozen things we can't even cover today because we got to focus on the three or four most major ones. So this is a direct confrontation. Heads up to folks in England. If you are to ever take your country back, your first step was Brexit.
All right, so now he's making another point. So first of all, he was talking about political warfare. That's mean, and then now he's talking about confrontation. They are ready for confrontation at the legal level, at the on the street level, on Congress. They are prepared for confrontation. That's mean they are prepared to do a lot of damage. And then I just told you, so we're not even there. Where they're gonna tell their people to go and do the job.
But if you're ever to take your country back because you saw what the step
And again is in England. Now they want to turn other country on the same side they are. No immigrants, no no democracy. One people they just gonna focus on what they wanna do, like the populist thing. So let's go down to another list where he said they want their country back. He talking about immigration, populist radicalists, populist nationalists, just like Hitler. That's what Hitler wanted did. And then say what is the mhm. And then he said the elite globalists, they have a big problem with the globalization. And then he talked about populist nationalists. And then he said clean the tech war. Okay, now we know a lot of tech bros came around to help with this guy, but you're gonna say something very interesting with those tech bros. With those tech bros, it's very important. 35 exactly, but I'm gonna play it before so you can get the perspective.
These people are all progressive Democrats. They're all globalists.
Okay, now you got a problem with those progressives Democrat. It is not thinking about progressive. Is not it does not love a globalist or other stuff.
They're all oligarchs. They're techno feudalists because they don't really believe in the democratic process. Okay, these guys are all the wealthiest guys in the world. They're quite dangerous, and I think it's all got to be broken up by. I'm a neo-Brandeisian when it comes to antitrust here. That I'm not as worried about the consumer prices and that, which is obviously a concern. I'm more I'm concerned about concentrations of power. particularly concentration of power where you combine private power with governmental power. I think that's really
Isn't that Elon Musk? Private power and government power. That's
All right. Okay. So now they're talking about private power, just like Elon Musk. Even though Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, all those tech bros are with them, but he said they're gonna have to claim them because they are a progressive Democrats.
concerns that people have raised.
I think in Musk's case, it's quite. Listen, I've been the biggest critic of Elon Musk, but I've also been his biggest supporter. And I know people don't see the sports side. Number one, and this is his engineering mind at work because he is an engineer. In my interactions with him, he doesn't think like other people. He comes at everything in a mathematical and engineering. He came up and backed our play. And folks got to understand, and this is very important in British politics, is the pressure on Trump is always to moderate. The pressure on Trump is not to be the savage. The pressure on Trump is not to be like we like you, right? Don't give two F's. Let's just roll, because that's what the people want. And it's always this thing. The biggest thing they try getting to moderate on is to go after the mythic suburban woman. If you just tone it down, there's a whole group of mythic suburban women out there. They're going to come your way. And I say that's ridiculous. We have the MAHA, the Make America Healthy Again moms, but they're the cutting edge of a new political movement. That's not the traditional.
All right. So this is where you're gonna talk about the $250 million. Elon Musk put $250 million on the election to buy all those mom, all those women, all those magas that give them the election. That's mean they just buy their vote.
Suburban mom. Elon Musk understood that this theory of the case that you had this MAGA movement and this election would be a MAGA plus. That you had the MAGA base that had President Trump's back, plus you had low information, low propensity voters that were out there in the hinterland, but you got to go dig those out, and they will vote for Trump.
Low information, that means people who don't understand nothing about politics, they go after the low information. You just said, let me just go back so you can hear why you said low information. That's when people who don't know nothing about politics, you just tell them shit, and then they just go with it.
Elon Musk understood that this theory of the case that you had this MAGA movement and this election would be a MAGA plus. That you had the MAGA base that had President Trump's back, plus you had low information, low propensity voters.
Low information, low propensity.
You got to go dig those out, and they will vote for Trump. And the other plus was that you had a little bit of these tech bros that could come along, right? They don't bring a lot of votes, but it's a lot of
press, a lot of press.
And you had the Make America Healthy Again mothers. Those mothers that have been awakened or red pilled, mainly Obama voters, that have been red pilled during the pandemic, and now are at the cutting edge of this kind of anti Department of Health, anti Fauci group that we could get. He backed that play, and how did he back that play? Put $250 million cash money in 5 months. When people talk about the United States and about the amount of billionaires putting in money, always remember when you talk about the Adelsons putting in 100 million, or some people put 100 million, that's normally over a cycle. That's a 4-year cycle. Elon Musk wrote $250 million worth of checks in 5 months to back the ground game, not fancy commercials, but really the ground game. All that professional layer.
All right, that's mean Elon Musk put $250 million in cash. This is it just bought this election. In Haiti, we said so don't vote for $1,000. No, now Americans are voting for money. It just buy this election, and it's not come from me. Don't take my word for it. Steve Bannon said it. Steve Bannon said it. Let's just pay it.
Billionaires putting in money. Always remember when you talk about the Adelsons putting in 100 million, or some people put 100 million. That's normally over a cycle. That's a 4-year cycle. Elon Musk wrote $250 million worth of checks in 5 months to back the ground game, not fancy commercials, but really the ground game. All that professional layer you had to put in on this self-organizing effort, plus the data. And it's what I think, no doubt, was a massive part of the, not just taking the presidency, but also holding the House and taking the Senate, particularly in piercing the blue wall. And Elon, when he went on stage all the time, was also all the time talking.
Also, he gave a lot of inside of all they basically bought the election. Because if you put $250 million in cash, A1 A1 5 month, it's just like you buying people, you buying their votes, just buying the votes. $250 million in cash. So that's mean there's a lot of money, there's a lot of people that vote for him that got a lot of money. They need to find out where this money came from, where the money goes. That means there's a lot of people they bought to vote for them, and now a lot of them are crying. A lot of them are saying, I regret that I vote for this guy. They're basically hypocrites. They're basically hypocrites. You take money to vote. That's when you sell your vote. That's why I always say the country has been sold to the highest bidder. Now they're gonna have to buy back their country. So it's money. The guy put money, so now he's doing his job. He just bought a country. Now he's doing the clean house, just like they do in the clean house now.
About the precincts race, talking about canvassing, talking about get out the vote, talking about those nuts and bolt things about how Trump wins. Number two, I've been kind of the father of this concept of deconstruction of the administrative state. I came up in 17 and said we have to take out this bureaucracy. Later, I saw how the deep state part of it tried to destroy Trump, and I said this thing's got to go. Doge coming in is kind of what you need. We have an official government part of that, the Office of Management Budget, but they're kind of limited in their impact of what someone like Elon can bring, plus the engineering expertise, and that's what he's done. What he's done so far, he's kind of he's doing a line diagram when you're literally the U.S. government, which surprisingly, it's quite.
All right. So, just like I told you, you need to watch the whole interview for yourself to really get a lot of point. But it is giving a lot of insight about exactly what happened. And then for the USID. But so the USID is a very complicated situation. Then they said a $50 billion each year. And then Elon Musk, Steve Bannon won Europe about Elon Musk with the two biggest, he got unlimited money, and then he got X. There is a lot of power trouble, and then he talked about the Monroe Doctrine. But my take, it's when he said basically they are on the defense. They were retrieving because of $2 trillion deficit. And then they said they cannot handle the world again. They cannot handle the world. That's why they're sending people back to their country like crazy. They're trying to make some kind of line of defense. They're talking about Greenland. They're talking about Canada. They are on the defense like it's like they know something is coming, just like when a storm is coming, just like there's a big snow is coming, and then we're freaking out. Now they're just freaking out. This is what is going on. When you see all the thing that going with Dodge, or they want sending people, they freaking out. And then they said, for me, this is stupid because it work the economy, innovate. They can innovate or work in other kind of economy because they can just print money. They own China a lot of money, and then they own the money. They know how to print the money, and then we solve all the problem. But they can do that because they want to put people out of job. They want to do a restructuration to find the money, while they do not print the money and then solve all their problems. They got all the means to just $2 trillion, even more than $2 trillion. $2 trillion, give it to China, but with China gonna do something with it, just spread it one. That's what China might do with probably not $2 trillion, but $1 trillion. Spread it one Africa, spread it on Berlin Wood Initiative, spread it on BRICS, because they are freaking out about BRICS. They're freaking out about BRICS right now because they're so afraid of the BRICS, what BRICS gonna do to the economy. And again, probably it's a sign of time. I'm not gonna go like that, but the way they are freaking out, they're gonna lose even faster. You know, when you are in bad situation and then you acting out, you do not take time to read the situation and then to come up with the best the best plan to get the best outcome. They can't do that right now. So just like the Tea Party, when the Tea Party come out, they come out like crazy and then they crash. All right, and then they forgot the best defense is attack. They're talking about the fentanyl problem, but again, just like JD Vance went to Munich and then to the Munich Security Council. He said, so if a $100,000 ads from a foreign country can destroy your democracy, that means your democracy was not that strong from the beginning. If you have a population, you cannot educate them. So to not do a lot of crazy stuff, and then you have people sending stuff, I would be you have a lot of work to do. So and then he talk about the war room. That's very important. Probably into the end of the interview where he's talking about the war room. That means they have they have like a war situation room where they planning all those things because they are in their mindset they are at war with the Democrat and they are at war with the immigrants.
The bond market has taken out more governments than the Howard sign. Okay, and in here over the last year, the
Uh, I,
French.
I think you should go watch the interview to hear where he's talking about.
It's under our, it's under us. We have it now, but it cannot be. And I'm sure President Trump will tell him under no such way. I'm actually.
Yeah, I think did not uh mark where exactly he's talking about the war room, but he did talk about the war room. They have a war room where they are planning the war against the Democrat, the January 6 people, the FBI, the government, the Democrat progressists. They have a list of people they want to eat. They just gonna go with war with them. And the war has different phase. They have a legal phase, and then when they're gonna get stopped, they're gonna be a lot of protests, and then they're gonna this is where the all craziness gonna happen. The craziness gonna happen on the street. I remember the first Trump term. There was a lot of craziness onto the ground. BLM, Black Lives Matter, people go to protest in Washington, National Action Network, NAACP, the Poor People Party. It was hell. And then now they are better prepared. They are better prepared. Last time, Mark Milley said, no. The military said, no. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. This time, we don't know what's going to happen. And then it just like on the soft attack, the executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order, day by day, 5, 10 executive order. And then when he finished with this phase of the soft or the paper attack, he gonna go with the with the hardware, with the warfare, which is the police, which is the military, with this those squad boys and other stuff. So there are gonna be a lot of things going on. And then they want to apply the same model to England, to Germany, to Belgium, to a lot of different countries. Probably they see Russia and China. Probably they study Russia and China. They said there's no big immigration. So why China and Russia is getting that big? Because there's no immigration. They just themselves, those two people, they basically do not have big immigration. They said, oh, those immigrants are the problem. They blame it on the immigrant. They said like they have just one party involved. They said, okay, so we need one party that's gonna take over everything. And then they said they care about themselves. They do not send aid. That's why they attack the USAID. They said USAID is just money you're gonna give to other people, and then they said those people are ingrats. They said those people don't love them enough. They said those people don't kiss their ass enough. So they said we're not gonna send our money to a bunch of ingrats, to a bunch of people that do not do order the bidding. they're gonna stop those funding, and probably they're gonna come back with them, and then they're gonna give it to different rules and regulation exactly to people that are gonna kiss their ass. That exactly was those mafia are doing in China and Russia, and then that's exactly what those crazy people are gonna do. And he said they should cut spending, and then the Department of Education. There is a lot of kids in different cities in America. They do not have teachers. You need to check on your kids at school to examine if they have enough teacher or if they are cutting a lot of programs. So they are going crazy. They are for the of China immigration, globalization, democracy. So Bannon is a former military guy, and then to conclude, he said this is the beginning of the end. That really worries me. The beginning of the end of what? Of the country, of democracy, of what? The beginning of what kind of end? Again, I'm telling you, they are in war mode. They are at war with different group and different kind of people. So my advice is like we as immigrant, we need to be prepared. We need to understand what those people are thinking, because it's not like when they gonna drive on the street, on our street, or they drive by our school, we're gonna say, oh, this is what happened. No, they give us some information, and where those information are available, I'm gonna come and talk about those information. But this is a very crazy time, very, very crazy time. We need to be prepared. Thank you. So I'm gonna keep monitoring other situation to see the information that is very necessary to us as immigrant, as African American, and as people that are being targeted, and we do not even know that. We do not know so what is going on. So thank you. Until the next live.